We are currently in the top of the fourth with one out in the World Series. That the Phillies are up 2-1. Game three was Tuesday night. Bryce Harper is still good at baseball. Team hit 5 home runs last night. That was their only way of getting runs. I think it went to the seventh inning until the Phillies had runners in scoring position, and they still won 5-0 or 7-0.
That's just incredible. But talk about modern day baseball, man. Philadelphia put that on display last night with that just the home run derby that they put off in Citizens Bank Ballpark.
Yeah, well, enough. Bryce Harper comes up his first at bat at home, first pitch, no doubter home run,
Mm-hmm.
and place went absolutely nuts. Philly is a tremendous sports town. They're just kind of the sports capital of the world right now. I hate to admit it, but your football team's 7-0, your baseball team's in the World Series. We don't have to discuss the
The
Sixers.
Pistons, Sixers, they suck.
Yeah, there's not many good teams in Detroit right now. But this I'm not and then Ranger Suarez pitched 5 shutout innings. I was surprised they pulled him because I don't think he was at a lot of pitches. I thought they would let him go a little bit longer. He was dominating, and then they, try to keep that bullpen a little fresher, but they pulled him. Bullpen preserved the shutout, and now it puts the Astros against the in some familiar territory where they have their backs against the wall. They are down 2-1 in the series, and they have to win tonight, or this series I think is over. I think they might be able to win Game 5 in Philly, but it's still going to be tough to win 2 games, and it's going to come down to which bullpen's going to be fresher. And right now, I think I like the Phillies a little bit more.
I'm actually shocked how awful Houston's hitting has been, to be honest. They're really no strategy whatsoever at the plate. They're just up there swinging, it seems like, outside of Kyle Tucker, who just, no, he flew out again. But no one's hit it hard. I've watched the last, like, no, not 15 innings, but probably 10 innings or so. I bet you I could count on one hand how many balls they've hit 95 plus miles an hour. Like, they cannot square these pitches up to save their life. Where you look at the Phillies, last night everything was hit 100 plus miles an hour. Like, it was just insane.
Guys, is it just one of those where the Phillies are they're hot and it feels like their time, and maybe Houston, they've been one of the best teams in baseball year round, 105 wins in the regular season, back-to-back World Series appearances, haven't lost their last two. Is it am I crazy enough to think that is there some sort of pressure building up on this Astros team, and they're just crumbling right now?
Well,
Where
I
they're
think what it is
playing like themselves?
I think what possibly could be is because Dodger Stadium, the fans are known to come late, leave early, where the teams they are playing in the World Series now, those fans are there. The stadium is filled 25 to a half hour before the game starts, and their places they've played in the Battery in Atlanta, Nationals Park, and now Citizens Bank Park in Philly. The places are absolutely electric and go nuts. Where I think it's hard for the Astros to hear the trash cans.
Oh, you bring up a good point.
I knew you were going there.
You bring up a good point. That's a never forget moment. Those cheaters down there in Houston. But what's weird is remember their World Series against the Nationals. The road team won every game in that series.
Yeah.
That's one I can't wrap my head around. But also, guys, maybe kind of compared to like a different team, but in the 2019 when the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup, they fired Mike Yeo in January, and that time they were the worst team in the NHL. Well, this past May, the Phillies were one of the worst teams in baseball. They fired Joe Girardi, and they get a new manager and their new skipper, and it almost seems like it's just been a breath of fresh air. So I'm almost, kind of seeing these comparisons, between these two teams where it's like they have that coaching / manager change in the middle of the season, and their superstar players start playing like superstars, and now all of a sudden nobody can beat this team.
Well, and
And they're
Bryce
just
missed like 50 games from June to July with a broken thumb too, I believe.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was right around there probably.
And the other part too is like you look and I saw this on an interview Joe Girardi did. Maybe he's just, you can chalk this up as sour grapes, but I think he does have some. He brings up some good points. Is when they fired him, they were in the teeth of their schedule in May when they were playing the Dodgers, they were playing the Mets, they were playing the Mariners, all teams that made the playoffs. The Mariners won 100 games. They were playing the Phillies.
Yeah.
They were playing like they were playing some tough games, just kind of a low part, and it happens. And like I said, you could chalk it up as sour grapes or whatever, but even if Joe Girardi wasn't fired, maybe they're still playing in the World Series. Who knows? But yeah, Grant, you're right though. They've played a lot. They've played a heck of a lot better since he was let go. So maybe that is something. Maybe the message just wasn't getting through, and that could be too. So we'll see what happens. It's middle of the fourth now. Hopefully, we can keep this series going. I don't want to see a 5-game series. The bad part about this series is they started it at like awful times. They should have started it not on a Friday, Saturday, and then if they play game 6, game 7, it's going to be
Saturday, Sunday.
It'll be Saturday, Sunday, competing with college football and the NFL. So the baseball, again, can't get out of their own way. But like I said, we've got college baseball, NFL to talk.
You mean college football?
College football.
What did I say? College baseball?
Yes, you sure
college
did.
baseball.
Oh,
Omaha's
right.
Wise out.
Omaha, baby.
And yeah, we will switch. I said we got college football this weekend, which we'll move to. Got some big games in the SEC, guys. I don't know the last time we've seen where it's 2 top 10 teams. The college football playoff rankings came out. Well, whatever. It's early. It'll play itself out. Seems like they're doing a little bit of positioning to boost the SEC teams' resumes. LSU comes in at 10, who they play Alabama this week. And LSU is a little bit of a fun fact Friday on a Thursday here is LSU is looking for their first win at home against Bama since when? You guys know this?
Since when?
Yeah. The last time LSU won at home against Alabama.
I'm going to say
2000.
I'm going to say Nick Saban was their head coach. I'm going to go 2004.
Okay. You said 2004, Grant. Ethan, what did you say, 2000?
2000.
2010.
Really?
Yep.
No.
Yep. That was the year. That was Greg McElroy's senior year. Alabama went like 8-4. That was their last win at home. Alabama's a 13.5-point favorite. It is a night game in LSU. So LSU will always have a shot. The game's on ESPN.
Which at Baton Rouge at night will always be a top 5 bucket list game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
absolutely
know if I'd make it out alive, but it's top 5 game to go to without question.
Marty Smith tells an incredible story about this game. I don't remember. I think it was in 2018 when LSU and Alabama were playing, and he was doing a segment for game day, and game day was getting ready to start. And this LSU fan looks like he was still drunk from the night before, holding the bottle of Jack, goes up to him, offers Marty a sip, and he's like, "No, I got to do a TV segment." Well, welcome to Death Valley, brother, and just chugs a bottle of whiskey at 5 a.m. At that point, I think I would just be happy to make it alive to the game.
Oh, you know for a fact that guy by about 2:30 passed out in the back of his truck and slept in the back of that pickup for about 36 straight hours.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll get into the game here, but I think obviously crowd's going to be electric. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. Alabama has struggled on the road as of late, losing to Tennessee. Should have probably lost to Texas.
Texas.
And then if just not that typical Nick Saban team you're used to seeing, I think their inability to consistently run the ball is what's really been hindering them in these road games. And I think a key for them is they got to be able to run the ball. They don't need to go run for 300 yards, but they need to be effective running it. They need to be able to move the sticks, stay ahead of the sticks, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, where they keep that playbook for Bill O'Brien, keep that play sheet big. And then on the defensive side, I think the biggest thing is just keeping Jaden Daniels in the pocket, because when he's most dangerous and when he has his most success is when he's able to break loose, scramble, get out of the pocket, and throw the ball on the run. That's where he has his most success. I think if Alabama's able to do that, I think that gives them a shot to win.
I'd actually be kind of surprised if they don't blow them out of the water. I think LSU is not good at all. The fact they're ranked 10th is honestly kind of ridiculous to me. 4 spots above Utah.
It's just to boost the SEC resume.
I know. It's just a joke. Like, they're not even relatively close to a top 10 team. Who have they beat all year?
Auburn. They barely beat Auburn on the road. Their big win was they beat Ole Miss by like 25 points.
Which was close